He never planned to accept the job so fast, but the payment number on the screen made him stop breathing for a moment. It was 3 times more than anything he had ever earned, and the job description was short and cold. Single package pickup, no questions, no delays. His name was Ethan Cole, a simple space runner who moved cargo between forgotten stations. He was not a hero, not a soldier, just a man trying to survive in a galaxy that cared very little about people like him. Bills were waiting, fuel was low, and his ship was old. He stared at the offer again. No company logo, no long contract, only a warning written in red. Once accepted, the job cannot be cancelled. Ethan hesitated only for a second. Then he pressed accept. Almost immediately, coordinates appeared on his navigation screen. An abandoned orbital station on the edge of human space. The kind of place pilots avoided. Too quiet, too forgotten. As his ship moved through the dark, the silence felt heavy. No radio traffic, no patrol ships, nothing. It was as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. When the station finally appeared, Ethan felt a chill. The structure was broken, lights flickered weakly, and parts of it looked burned. This place was not just abandoned, it was left behind in fear. He docked carefully, hand resting near the emergency controls. The airlock opened with a long metal scream. Inside, the station smelled old and cold. His scanner guided him to a small sealed room. The door was marked with symbols he did not recognize. Human writing mixed with strange lines and shapes. "This is already wrong," he whispered to himself. The door unlocked as he approached. Inside was a single container, much smaller than he expected. No heavy armor, no warning signs, just a quiet metal box. He checked the weight. Too light for something worth that much money. Against his better judgment, Ethan opened it. The moment the lid lifted, his heart almost stopped. Inside the container was not cargo. It was a child. A young girl, maybe 10 years old, curled into herself. Her clothes were thin and worn. Her eyes opened slowly, full of fear. She did not scream. She just stared at him, shaking. Ethan stepped back, his mind racing. "This has to be a mistake," he said, though no one answered. The girl tried to speak but stopped. She looked around the room like she expected something bad to happen. Ethan closed the container gently, then opened it again, hoping his eyes had lied. They had not. Before he could think of what to do, his ship AI sent an alert directly to his helmet. "Warning, cargo integrity confirmed." Cargo. The word made his stomach turn. He rushed back to the ship with the container. Leaving the girl there felt impossible. Taking her felt dangerous. Once inside the cockpit, Ethan tried to contact the job sender. No signal. No response. Only a single text appeared on his screen. "Delivery in progress. Deviation will result in consequences." The girl sat quietly on the floor of the cargo hold, hugging her knees. She watched Ethan with careful eyes, like someone who had learned not to trust adults. "What is your name?" he asked softly. She hesitated, then answered, "Lena." Before he could ask more, the ship shook suddenly. Proximity alarms screamed. Ethan pulled the controls, checking the sensors. Unknown ships had appeared behind him. No identification, no standard movement. "They were waiting," he muttered. The girl looked up sharply. "They always come," she said in a small voice. Ethan turned toward her. "What do you mean always?" But before she could answer, the ship AI spoke again, this time in a tone Ethan had never heard before. "Attention, pilot. This cargo is classified beyond your clearance." Ethan froze. "Classified by who?" he asked. The AI paused, then replied, "Multiple non-human authorities." Ethan's hands tightened on the controls. He was not just carrying a secret. He was carrying something powerful enough to scare more than one species. As the unknown ships moved closer, the girl looked at him. Not with fear this time, but with hope. And in that moment, Ethan realized something terrifying. This job was never about delivery. It was about choice. And whatever he decided next would change everything. The ship moved forward at full speed, engines shaking as Ethan pushed them harder than he ever had before. The unknown ships stayed close, matching his movement like silent hunters. They did not fire, they did not warn, they simply followed. Ethan checked the girl again through the rear camera. Lena sat very still, her hands on the floor, her eyes closed like she was listening to something only she could hear. "You said they always come," Ethan said, trying to keep his voice calm. "Who are they?" Lena opened her eyes slowly. "I do not know their names," she said. "But they are not human." That answer made Ethan's chest feel tight. Aliens were not a new thing in the galaxy. But when they wanted something, entire colonies disappeared. "And the company?" he asked. "Are they human?" Lena shook her head. "They change faces," she said softly. "Sometimes human, sometimes not." Before Ethan could ask more, the ship AI interrupted again. "Pilot, course correction advised. Current path leads to interception." Ethan laughed once, short and bitter. "Of course it does." He pulled the controls and dove the ship toward a dense asteroid field. The alarm screamed louder as rocks flew past the cockpit window. The unknown ships followed without slowing, weaving through the danger like they had done it many times before. Lena grabbed the side rail but did not scream. Instead, she spoke again. "They will not crash," she said. "They see the paths before they appear." Ethan stared at her for half a second. "How do you know that?" She looked at him, confused. "Because I see them too." Before he could question her, one of the chasing ships suddenly moved away, missing a large asteroid by inches. The timing was perfect. Too perfect. Ethan swallowed hard. "You saw that before it happened," he said. Lena did not answer, but her silence said enough. The ship broke free from the asteroid field, but the danger did not end. Fuel levels dropped fast. Weapons were weak. And the job sender was still silent. Ethan tried one more time to reach any human authority. Emergency channels, trade lanes, even old pirate frequencies. Nothing answered. Then Lena spoke again. "They blocked you," she said. "They do not want you to ask questions." "Who is they?" Ethan asked, louder now. "The aliens, the company, or someone else?" Lena stood slowly, her legs shaking like she was not used to gravity. "All of them," she said. "They are afraid." That made Ethan stop. Afraid. Aliens feared very few things. Afraid of a child. As the ships closed in again, Ethan made a decision. He cut the engines, letting the ship drift. The sudden move confused the pursuers, just for a moment. "What are you doing?" Lena asked, her voice small but steady. "Buying time," he said. "For both of us." The lead alien ship opened a channel at last. The image was blurred, the voice layered and cold. "Human pilot," it said. "Return the asset and you may leave alive." Ethan felt anger rise inside him. "She is not an asset," he said. "She is a child." The alien paused. "Incorrect," it replied. "She is the future." The channel closed. Lena looked at Ethan, her eyes brighter now, almost glowing. "They will not stop," she said. "They never do." Ethan exhaled slowly. "Then we change the rules," he said. He sent false coordinates into the system, broadcasting a fake surrender point. At the same time, he rerouted power to the engines for one short burst. The ship jumped suddenly, tearing through space in an unstable short jump. Pain exploded in Ethan's head as the system struggled. When the jump ended, the stars looked wrong, twisted, unfamiliar. They had escaped. For now. The ship drifted in silence, damaged but alive. Ethan slumped back in his chair, breathing hard. Lena walked closer to the cockpit. "You did not give me back," she said. "Others always did." Ethan looked at her, really looked at her. Dirty face, tired eyes, but something powerful behind them. "I am not others," he said. Lena hesitated, then nodded once. "Then I will help you," she said. Ethan frowned. "Help me how?" She placed her hand on the wall. The ship systems flickered, then stabilized, better than before. "I can feel machines," she said. "And danger." Ethan's heart pounded. He did not know what Lena truly was. But one thing was clear. This job had already turned into something far bigger than survival. And the galaxy was about to learn what happens when humans refuse to give up their own. The ship floated in the dark, lights low, systems breathing like a wounded animal. Ethan stayed silent for a long moment, listening to the hum of the engines and the slow rhythm of his own heart. Lena sat near the cockpit wall, her hands still touching the metal. The screens around her showed lines of data Ethan had never seen before. They were not errors, they were patterns. "You changed my ship," Ethan said carefully. "I did not know I could," Lena replied. "But it felt natural." That answer scared him more than the chase. Machines were one thing, but instinct like that was something else. Ethan ran a deep scan on the ship. Power flow was cleaner, damage seals were stronger. It was like the ship wanted to survive more than before. "You said others gave you back," Ethan said. "Why?" Lena lowered her eyes. "They were paid," she said. "And they were afraid." "Afraid of you?" Ethan asked. "Afraid of what I become," she answered. The words hung heavy in the air. Ethan had seen fear before. Pirates, soldiers, even trained pilots broke when fear took control. But fear of a child meant something very wrong had happened. The ship AI suddenly spoke again, softer this time. "Pilot." Long range scan detects signal echoes. Ethan leaned forward. "They followed us," he said. Lena shook her head slowly. "No," she said. "They are looking." Before he could ask what that meant, Lena suddenly winced. She grabbed her head, breathing fast. "They are thinking," she whispered. "Too loud." Ethan moved toward her. "Who is thinking?" "All of them," she said. "The ones who made me." Ethan froze. "You remember them?" "Yes," Lena said. "They did not call me by name. They called me Phase." That single word sent a cold feeling through Ethan. Phase meant change. Phase meant evolution. "They said humans were slow," Lena continued. "We feel after danger." They wanted someone who feels before. Images flashed across the screens without Ethan touching anything. Strange rooms, bright lights, shapes moving behind glass. Human voices mixed with alien ones, arguing, shouting. "They tested us," Lena said, her voice shaking. "Many children." Ethan's hands curled into fists. "How many survived?" he asked, already knowing the answer. Lena swallowed. "Only me." Silence filled the cockpit again. Ethan felt something break inside him. Not fear. Not doubt. Anger. "They used you," he said, his voice low. "They turned you into a tool." Lena looked up at him. "They wanted a weapon," she said. "But weapons do not choose." Ethan met her eyes. "Do you?" he asked. "Yes," she said without hesitation. The ship shook again, harder this time. Alarms flared red across the panels. A jump field opened nearby, violent and unstable. "They found us," Ethan said. "No," Lena corrected. "They forced space to answer." The enemy ships appeared like shadows tearing through reality. Bigger than before, heavier, armed. This time they did not wait. Energy blasts ripped past the hull. Ethan pulled the ship into a sharp dive. "We cannot outrun them," he said. "I know," Lena replied, calm now. "They expect fear." Ethan glanced at her. "What do you expect?" "Trust," she said. He did not ask how. He did not ask why. He just nodded. Lena placed both hands on the floor. Her breathing slowed. The space around the ship bent slightly, like heat over metal. Enemy targeting systems began to fail. Shots missed by impossible margins. Collisions that should have happened did not. "They cannot predict," Ethan whispered. "They never could," Lena answered. Ethan laughed, a sharp sound filled with disbelief. "All this time," he said. "They thought humans were weak." They forgot something, Lena said. What? That humans protect, she replied. The lead alien ship tried one last time to open a channel. Its voice was no longer calm. Return the subject, it demanded. You do not understand what she is. Ethan leaned toward the transmitter. I understand enough, he said. She is not yours. The channel cut abruptly. The alien ships pulled back, not fleeing, but watching. They are waiting, Ethan said. Yes, Lena agreed. For a mistake. Ethan smiled grimly. Then they will wait a long time, he said. He set a new course, toward deep human space, toward places that still believed in choice. Toward resistance, whether it existed or not. Behind them, the galaxy shifted. Plans broke. And powers older than humanity began to realize one dangerous truth. They had pushed a human too far. And humans never stop once they decide to stand. The ship moved through deep space, far from trade routes and safe lanes. Stars passed slowly, but the feeling of being watched never left. Ethan had rerouted power again, pushing the ship beyond safe limits. Every system warning blinked yellow. Not red yet. Not dead yet. Lena sat beside him now, not hiding, not shaking. She looked tired, but focused. Like someone who knew the cost of staying awake. They are still there, Ethan said quietly. I can feel it. So can I, Lena replied. They are not following with ships anymore. Ethan frowned. Then how? With fear, she said. They spread it. Almost on cue, the ship AI glitched. Screens flashed old emergency messages. Distress calls from long-dead colonies. Human voices screaming. Ethan slammed the console. Shut it down. Lena touched the panel before the AI could respond. The sounds stopped instantly. Silence returned, thicker than before. They want you to doubt, Lena said. If you doubt, you slow. Ethan took a breath. Bad choice, he said. I learned to fly in worse. A new signal appeared ahead, faint but human. Old encryption, resistant style. Almost forgotten. Ethan stared at it. This code, he said. It should not still exist. They kept it alive, Lena said. Waiting. As they moved closer, space began to distort again. Not like before. This time smoother, controlled. They are opening gates, Ethan muttered. Blocking every exit. Multiple alien vessels appeared at once, surrounding them in a wide circle. No weapons fired. No warnings. The lead ship spoke directly into Ethan's mind, not through sound. You have delayed the outcome. Not changed it. Ethan gritted his teeth. You talk too much for someone in control. A pressure filled the cockpit. Not physical, but heavy. Like gravity pulling on thoughts. Lena gasped softly. They are trying to take me. Ethan unbuckled instantly, moving in front of her. No, he said. You take me instead. The alien presence paused, confused. Human resistance is illogical. Ethan laughed, short and sharp. Then you never studied us. He rerouted all remaining power into one system. Not engines, not weapons. The old emergency broadcast array. What are you doing? Lena asked. Calling family, Ethan replied. He sent a wideband signal, unencrypted, raw, human. A message of pursuit, of a child hunted, of a line crossed. Across nearby space, dormant relays woke up. Old ships powered on. Hidden stations listened. The alien ships reacted too late. Sensors spiked. Unknown human vessels jumped in, rough and uneven. But many. These are not warships, the alien voice said, almost confused. They are worse, Ethan replied. They are volunteers. Human ships formed a loose wall around Ethan's damaged vessel. Different models, different ages, different crews. One purpose. Lena watched, eyes wide. They came, she whispered. They always do, Ethan said. The alien fleet hesitated for the first time. They had expected one man, one ship, one child. Not a choice spreading like fire. This conflict is inefficient, the alien voice said. Withdraw and survival is possible. Ethan shook his head. You still do not get it, he said. You made this personal. Lena stood beside him now, no longer hiding. Her presence seemed stronger, clearer. Space around her felt calm. I am not your future, she said, her voice echoing beyond sound. I am ours. The alien ships began to pull back, not defeated, but uncertain. Watching, learning, afraid. The human ships held position. Not chasing. Not backing down. Ethan looked at Lena. This is not over, he said. She nodded. They will come again. Ethan smiled, tired but steady. Then next time, he said. We are ready. Far away, beyond charts and borders, decisions were being rewritten. Because one job had gone wrong. And one human had refused to let go. And the galaxy was starting to understand something it had forgotten. Humans do not fight because they are strongest. They fight because they choose to. The human ships stayed in place long after the alien fleet vanished. No one cheered. No one relaxed. They all knew this was only the beginning. Ethan leaned back in his chair, exhaustion finally catching him. His hands were shaking now, not from fear, but from what almost happened. Lena stood near the front window, watching the stars. Her reflection looked small, but the space around her felt heavy with meaning. They will change plans, Ethan said. They always do. Yes, Lena replied. But so will we. A resistance ship moved closer, sending a secure channel. Voices filled the cockpit, human voices, rough, unsure, but real. They asked questions. They asked for Lena. Ethan felt the weight of the moment. This was the handover point. Not forced, not hunted. Chosen. He looked at Lena. This is where I step back, he said. No cages, no contracts. Lena turned to him slowly. You could leave, she said. You have done enough. Ethan shook his head. Humans do not work like that. The resistance leaders explained the truth. The aliens were afraid not because of Lena's power, but because of what she proved. Humans could adapt. Humans could evolve. And humans could protect without control. The galaxy feared weapons. But it feared choices even more. Lena listened quietly. Then she did something no one expected. She stepped forward and spoke to all channels at once. Human, alien, open space. I will not hide, she said. I will not be owned. I will not be used. The signal carried far. Farther than technology should allow. I choose humanity, Lena continued. Not because I was made here. But because you stayed. Ethan felt his throat tighten. Around them, hardened pilots wiped their eyes. The alien observers returned briefly, watching from a distance. They did not interfere. They did not threaten. For the first time, they listened. Lena placed her hand on the hull. Not forcing, not bending. Just feeling. Across space, unstable zones calmed. Sensors stabilized. Danger folded back on itself. She was not a weapon. She was balance. The resistance ships opened formation, welcoming them in. No chains. No fear. Ethan powered down his engines. For the first time since the job offer, the silence felt safe. You changed everything, he said quietly. Lena shook her head. You did, she replied. You chose. Far across the galaxy, reports spread fast. A human refused payment. Refused fear. Refused to hand over a child. Alien councils adjusted strategy. Not toward war, but toward caution. Because they learned a dangerous lesson. Humans may not be the strongest. They may not see the future first. But when humans decide someone is family, the universe moves to catch up. Ethan looked at the stars one last time. A simple man who took a simple job. and proved something ancient and powerful. Humanity does not rise because it must. Humanity rises because it chooses to stand. And once it does, nothing can force it to kneel.